Hey guys, this is vman from No Budget Production, and with me today I have I want to say my good friends, but I can't say that, but I will say new friends. With me today is Jack. Jack, how are we doing, my friend?
I'm good, thank you. Hi, hello
Good.
everybody.
And we also have Astrid. Astrid, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. What about you and you guys?
I am beyond tickled. And then Juliana, how are we doing, my friend?
Hello, we're doing quite fine, thank you. I hope you guys are all right.
As well as can be, I can say. So this has been you guys. I would say you guys have a project that it kind of took a lot of people by storm. I would say because you guys just kind of it's like one of those Super Mario mushrooms. You hit the box and then boom, it hits it, and then you kind of like, oh, what's this? You touch it and then it blows up, and then you're like, man, I can start hitting Goombas left and right, and it's just you guys came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you just started producing. Boom, here's a picture. Boom, next day here's a picture. Boom, next day here's a picture. Boom, here's a thing we got here. Boom, and it's just like, I started taking notice right away. It's what exactly is the name of the project? Because Star Trek fan film, is it ITA or ITA, or like what is the name of the project? Because I always feel wrong when I'm telling people at work, and they're used to me talking gibberish. They're like, what are you talking about, V-Man? Like, shut up, fat man. I don't know what you're babbling about. But what is it? So I know exactly how to tell them at work.
Okay, it's called Of Love and Honor, or in Italian, Dell'amore e dell'onore, because it's actually a fan film filmed in Italy, although it will be dubbed also in English. And is, as you say, a Star Trek fan film that we started producing a few months ago. And as you say, a lot of people start saying, yeah, we're going to produce, and then 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And I hate that. I hate that in everything I do. So we actually, we started over 1 year ago now. We didn't say anything to anybody.
Right.
We started filming in September, and then we got in contact with some people in a local radio here. Right where we were filming, we said, we want to do something about you. So I said, okay, we need to go public now. But actually, if it wasn't about that, we would actually went public right around now, because I wanted to have something to show people before actually saying I'm doing this. Yeah.
Well, and that's that you bring up a really good point. A lot of people they never get past the idea stage of a production, and the sad truth about productions is everyone has an idea. And it never gets. Scott Johnson joins us. He says, "Hey everyone, hey, what's up, Scotty Johnson?
Hi.
Glad to have you in the chat, man." It's one of those things, like it never gets. Most productions never get past it, or if they do, it's scribbled on a napkin and then crammed in a pocket, and then once it goes through the washing machine, it's crumpled, and then it's you guys really did bring it. The thing that I took notice. And we were talking before the show. In fact, I feel like I said it ad nauseum, because every time someone popped up, I felt the need to, let me hammer this idea. I love the fact that you guys brought the Star Trek Captain Pike uniforms, the Discovery Captain Pike uniforms, on a TOS-esque bridge. And you brought those two visuals, which are distinctly different, yet you blended them perfectly. As someone who has filmed his 23rd Century Constar films with those uniforms, I have access to 2 different bridges that I can film on. It was always my goal to go back to the sets and film on those and do that same exact thing. And when I saw what you guys had done, I was like, they beat me to the punch, and I loved that. I knew instantly. I was like, I want to push these guys, because they. It's that great minds think alike type thing, and I wanted to push that. I wanted to find out everything. What are they doing? Can I help? Can I be a part? Can I it saturated that need for Star Trek, because as I look at modern Star Trek, there's there's not a lot of hope per se. There's a lot of darkness to it. It's not visually that link to Star Trek. I think we're getting closer with season 4 Discovery.
Maybe.
But when you go back to the earlier seasons, 1, season 2, it's not there.
Yeah.
And you guys perfectly replicated that. And I think fan films can do that in a lot of ways. Juliana, you had some really interesting thoughts before we went on the show, and I kind of wish we could freeze time and actually delve into that conversation beforehand, because I hated cutting you off. But let's delve into some of those thoughts, because I was talking about the darkness of like modern Star Trek and everything, and you brought up your thoughts on Star Trek, modern and fan films.
I believe that fan films actually are very interesting to fans, even though they're not official, of course, because I bribed him. Don't worry.
Well, welcome, Kraken.
I was saying, yes, I think fan movies are very interesting to fans because, unlike the franchise, they are just what fans want to see in Star Trek: a very positive humankind, and evolved humankind, compared to the roguelike characters that are so fashionable now. That the franchise feels it needs to put on shows to attract possibly new fans or enthusiasts, and well, that's something that fans sometimes don't like very much. And while fan movies are all about what the old and the truest spirit of Star Trek is, in my opinion.
Well, and that's the one thing you brought up was like, take a character such as Michael Burnham. And nobody at home who's a big Michael Burnham fan, like, don't break out the Vance Major voodoo doll and start poking it in the eye. Like, don't castrate me here. But like that probably wouldn't end up in a fan film, because we don't think on those terms. We don't think of what's the weirdest, craziest thing we could do and jam this into a fan film. Like, we don't think on terms like that. We usually think in terms of, well, if we were to tell a story between two people, if we made one like a Bolian and made one like a human, let's just usually like two people talking, or a very human experience, or we'll take an experience like maybe we've gone through, and we'll kind of interject that maybe into a situation that's just more Star Trek-ized, and we'll make it relatable to the story. That's usually what we do. Like, we can take a time and take characters and kind of slow it down, like for instance, like the Battle of Wolf 359, like the ramifications of like, what was it like to go through that, and tell a human story, which is basically kind of war trauma, in
the first few of your films, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's, to me, I always wanted to do that. What was that like to kind of do, what was that like? Because we kind of just skim over that, but to me, I always thought that was fascinating. Like, people sit there and they're like, dude, what if Earth is gone? What if we're all that's like, to me, I think that's that's a very interesting, that's a very interesting take. And I think a lot of fan films, they slow down everything, and they take that human, they take the human concept, whereas something more like Discovery, it's more of a pew, 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 and you're just like, what's going on? You don't have time to catch your breath, and that, I think, that's just not how us fans think. That's not what our films are about,
Yes, also, as I was saying before we went live, actually, fans tend to be more true and more, how can I say, attentive to the Star Trek universe, while actually, for example, I was talking about Michael Burnham, which is a very cool character. I kind of like it, but it is very weird to me to see it in a Star Trek universe, because it is something that for a fan would have represented a stretch, too much of a stretch. A foster child of Sarek, which can do things that only Vulcan usually can do, and very few humans. So, it a fan making a movie would have thought, let's not make this big of a stretch, and let's not put all these things in one person, which would look unrealistic. While the franchise thought, realistic enough. And it is, as I said, a very good character, but it's very weird, and we didn't do something like that in our movie. So
Well, if it had been in a fan film movie, like I think it probably would have been the most ridiculed fan film movie at all, because people would have been like, "What the heck is this crap?"
exactly.
Like, what?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, it's
about your mentioning the pew pew. I think it's all a lot. It should be a lot about balance. I mean, it's fine to have the space battles. I actually like space battles, of course, but you need to have a human part. And this reminded me of like the season finale from Discovery season 3. Like it was in two parts. The first part was actually really interesting, I think, apart from the Kelpian side, not so much, but the politics, the idea that I think the Orion was called Ozira or something like that.
Yeah.
That actually had some good points. And I think that was actually really interesting. Then the second part came around, and suddenly she was like mustache twirling villain, and there was no sense. There was, not to mention that huge, I don't know, whatever that was.
right.
Yeah.
Like no, there was definitely some interesting with the Emerald Chain. You know, when they're actually talking to Starfleet, and they're having that dialogue of like, you know, what do we do? How do we go about going forward? You know, Starfleet has their ideas, we have ours. And to me, even though that's kind of a long, drawn out, boring process, to me, I felt the fact that you guys were able to slow down and talk about that, because that to me is yeah, you know, I mean, what do you do? You know, and the fact that it does, he's like, well, you need to go to prison, you know, and she's like, oh no, you son of a, you know, I mean, to me, it's one of those things of like, but you've done war crimes. I mean, what do you forgive that? Do you not? I mean, it really, to me, that poses, it's kind of just as, it's a moral dilemma, like when Sisko had brought the Romulans into the war and Garrick blew up the ship. It brings that same type of validation of, what do you do? What would we do? Would we forgive? Would we not? You know, and you know, it's those things that, you know, I feel that when done right. Go ahead.
No, but that's very.
If I can just jump into the conversation.
Sure, absolutely.
I was just thinking that maybe the franchising is forgetting about what it was like Star Trek before. What in fan films normally we can find, but in the franchising in the last years maybe we cannot. Is that the affection for the characters? The people are no longer like do not care anymore about the characters, because they don't feel like they are similar to them, but they're just like characters that do amazing things maybe, but still are not like normal people, so they don't feel like affectionate to them anymore. So I would just want to say this, sorry.
No.
It's very true.
Especially, I mean, a lot of characters in Discovery are not really, you know, outlined. You know very little about them. I don't know, Owo, I think she's called, the navigator. I don't think we know anything about her, and she's been there for like 4 years. And
yeah, well, and that's something we season 3 did a little better, you know, with you know, a little bit, you know, season 4 is doing a little bit. Again, they're making better steps, but I still don't know most of their names, and it's because, you know, go back to like Next Generation, even DS9, you know, or Voyager. realistically, the modern seasons, being 13 episodes, but by that standard, TNG, DS9, Voyager, season being 24 episodes, by the same standard, we're really only a season and a half into it. But even by that standard, like, we knew all of their names because it was all the time was shared. Everybody had their own episode, so we knew everybody. And I don't know most of their names, and that to me is an issue. But they had their arcs, they had their episodes, and this season again, it's getting better. But and thank God they changed the uniforms, because at least now I know what division they're in. Before I was like, what do you do?
When I saw that final shot with the new uniforms in season 3, I look at it and say, okay, these uniforms are not going to last. And next thing I knew, they had already changed them.
Yeah,
they look so bad on the Discovery Bridge.
Yeah, it was some people is like, it's I do like the season 4 uniforms just because it feels more Trek. Yeah. I'm glad they didn't go with the gray ones, because that would have been it would have been off-putting, to say the least.
That brings me back to our film. Something you said about the uniforms. We were not supposed to use those one originally.
Really?
Yeah. When I joined the project around 1.5 years ago, we were supposed to film in Rome with a cast of cosplayers. And they had all the Discovery Season 1 uniforms. And so the director told me, you need to write a story that will fit with this time period. So I wrote a story that allowed them to use those uniforms. Then we, for a lot of reasons, decided to move to Turin, everything in northern Italy. And we got that was actually one of the reasons we wanted real actors doing the parts, because this is a kind of a complex script, and cosplayers look good, but when you have them acting, there are a lot of problems. So we actually did auditions. We found Astrid. We found all the other actors, which did a beautiful job, by the way. Anyway, when we moved here, we needed to actually buy all the new uniforms. And I said, okay, wait a minute. Since we're buying everything from scratch, we need to actually use these uniforms, the Pike ones, because they actually are like modern, but actually everybody, even someone who actually saw Star Trek a couple of times in the 70s will actually see them and say, oh, this is Star Trek, immediately. So I was actually the one who insisted on using those uniforms and not the Discovery ones. Even if I'm not that, if we were going in Rome, they had all the uniforms, okay, fine. But since we're buying everything from scratch, yeah, let's use those.
Yeah, it was a smart call on your. I mean, you look at them, and that's one, like looking at the Star Trek, the Captain Pike uniform, or not Captain Pike, the Strange New Worlds uniform that they're doing there. I'm not a fan of those ones, because I was when I saw these ones on Discovery, I fell in love with them. I was like, man, this. Enough that, like, usually, like, my character is in a red engineer uniform and everything, and I tried to stay away from the yellow. But when I saw Pike in that, I was like, man, I instantly fell in love with it, and I was like, I got to go buy that one, because that is so, I loved it, and they're so, like you said, instantly recognizable as Star Trek. So, and that was, like, honestly, like, looking at every time you guys post a screen cap, I sit there and I'm looking at everything that's in these pictures. It's just it's visually stunning. Real quick, we have a question from Scott Johnson here. He says, love Jack's pick. Is he from Sharon?
I don't know what Sharon is, actually.
I don't either. I assume he might be talking about your Facebook picture. I'm not really sure. Hey, Scott, if you want to clarify exactly what you're talking about, brother, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. Be a little bit more specific. Resend us the question. So yeah, let us know exactly what you're talking about there. I'm not sure what you mean, man. So, Astrid, you play the cadet on the ship, or one of. Okay, I wanted to make sure I had that right. When I was looking at everything, I was like, okay, cadet. I got to remember that. All right. So,
And
tell us
can
a
I
little
say
bit
that?
about. What's
Can I
that?
say what my role is?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you
Okay,
can.
I am the pilot.
Yeah.
So what was it like coming to from the whole process of being invited on to be part of the crew, to putting on the uniform for the first time, to doing the whole kit and caboodle? What was that like? Because most people, the one thing they may look at a uniform and whatnot, but they never have the actual ability to be part of a fan production. What was your experience like on being part of a production?
So like, how many times? Like, how much time we have here? Because like, it's a long story. How much time do we have? Just tell me. It was a kind of funny story because I was like scrolling on Facebook and I saw like an advertising of a person looking for people acting in a Star Trek movie. So I was like,
Not really. A science fiction movie, because we were
A
trying to keep
science fiction
secret.
science
movie.
fiction. That's right. Science
Within
fiction.
previous
I was
Star
like,
Trek.
I like science fiction, but I'm not sure. Like, I have no clue. I'm an actress, but I don't know how this project is. I don't know how it works. I don't even know if they like see something good in me and they take me. So I was like, okay, I'll text these people. I write an email to ask more and to see if maybe I could be like part of the crew, and they said yes to a casting. It's casting, right? Casting
Mhm.
call.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, it's amazing. Then the day of the casting
Wait,
calls,
wait. One thing. Something you did that most people didn't is that we talk on the phone and you ask me a lot of questions about the character. That was something
yeah,
that really raised my attention.
yeah, that's true. I don't remember that, but yeah, I was like, when I saw the script, I was like, wow, that this character looks like amazing. She seems like strong and like really a great woman. So I was like, maybe if I ask more question, I could be more like her or things like this. I think I kept you on the phone like half an hour just asking questions.
But it was good. It was good because it's good that you are interested in the character you're going to play.
Yeah, it was very good.
And then in the day of the casting calls, I think like the word just said, okay, let's just start raining and closing all the streets in the world
She
to
couldn't get here.
There was an awful hailstorm. It was
Yeah.
terrifying, honestly.
and I was like, guys, I'm home. I cannot go anywhere. Please help. And they said it's okay to do a video call to do the casting, and I did the video call, and it was like really funny because Juliana was like, I don't really like her, and I was like, oh my god, yes, it's her, I want her. And so I was like, okay, so what tell me. And then I got the script, and the first time that I put on
The goggles.
the costume of
Mm.
Natalia, it was my character, I was like, wow, it's really cool. And then I was like, wow, but it's warm too. Wow, I didn't thought that. It was really warm, but it like was.
Yeah.
It was in summer, by the way,
Yeah.
so it was very warm, too warm.
That's true, but it was really it was like really good. I felt like really really good. It was amazing. To be honest, to be part of a fun film of something you've liked in the past, it's like something really wow.
So
On my defense, I want to say that I love her now. I really love that girl, and I'm so proud of her. Really, she's my highest pride in this in this movie. I believe, yeah, because when she did the audition, she was quite overly enthusiastic,
Yeah,
and she was not very cadet-like, you know.
she had this
She was.
pilot goggles here.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
What?
Yes, she did. Very steampunk pilot goggles, and she was like very over the top. And the problem is that when you are interpreting a cadet on a
Mm,
ship which is out for its first cruise, you need to be very professional because the higher ranks are watching you and judging you and judging your performance,
mm,
and all of the things you do during your duty and also on your free time can impact on their final evaluation of your career and how you graduate Starfleet. So
mm,
you need to be measured, you need to be quite calm and not very frivolous when you are on a starship and you're trying to impress your superiors. So that's what she was doing during her a trial.
because
So I just I wasn't very convinced by that, but I thought, well, maybe if she works on that, we told her to watch some episodes of Star Trek, especially the one
Lower Decks,
um, what
Lower Decks,
yes, Lower Decks,
episode,
and
not the
also. Mm, and well, the TNG episode where you can see also, I don't remember the title now, the one where Wesley is in trouble with his mate
series. Oh yeah, yeah.
in the Starfleet Academy. Oh my, I don't remember the name right
I think
now.
it's first duty.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
exactly. Precisely. Firstly, yes, thank you. And yes, I'm a very huge TNG fan, so I immediately thought about that, and I told her you need to watch this because you can take inspiration from the cadets, especially the
Mhm.
female cadets, and that's how you act on a starship, you know. And well, she really surprised me. She was amazing, and I'm so proud of her. And we still have a lot of things to do because the movie still needs to be filmed. But so we just did the trailer. But for now, the scenes she acted on are spotless. Honestly, I'm very proud of her.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she actually auditioned on a pretty difficult scene because it's like in the mess hall of the ship, and she's talking to her friends, so their fellow cadets, but there may be officers around in the same room, so
Yeah.
she needs to be friendly with her friends, joking maybe so on, but not too much. And
Still
it's
conscious
really
that
difficult, this kind of
you know.
balance.
Mm.
So talking about the movie, you guys said that you guys have just wrapped up the trailer that you guys are doing.
Right, yes, the teaser trailer, exactly.
So what can you tell us about what can you guys tell us about what it was like working with all the cast on the trailer?
Mm.
And from that whole process of everybody bringing the cast together, the
Mhm.
crew, what it was like just as a whole, and then what you guys have going forward from that aspect, because a lot of people will shoot the entire thing and then cut a trailer, but you guys have done a little bit different. You guys have shot the trailer and then you're going to finish the rest of the film, which I think is, I think that's just as valid, because it's like, hey, let's get this out, get everybody excited, and then you guys are going to use that for kind of a platform to do something else,
Yeah.
a little bit specific. I kind of want to leave that for a jumping off point for you guys. to kind of explain that. So
well, the idea, I mean, this is actually a relatively complex film. It's around 45 minutes, 1 hour long. And it's a submarine movie in a way, because it has a lot of action taking place on the ship, a bit like what was the episode where Kirk encounters the Romulans the first time?
Balance of Terror.
Balance of Terror, exactly. A bit like that. A bit like Journey to Babel, also, and so on. A bit like, of course, Star Trek 2, the Wrath of Khan. And so what we actually want to do is to have first good actors who can carry the role, and not only look good but also do the part good. They actually can. You can actually believe they are officers, cadets, the captain, and so on a spaceship. And the other goal we have at the moment is to build our own bridge, so those people can actually move around the bridge. And because so far we only shoot in, well, not only, but mostly shoot on a green screen, against a green screen. But this means that either you have a very good VFX team, or you can only do some kind of shots. You can't really move around much. And also it means that the actors, they don't see anything. Astrid was on the transporter pad, and the transporter pad was a chair.
A very perilous chair, by the way. I was very worried.
So anyway, what we want to do now is we put a few interesting things in the teaser that we think. Some of those are actually going, or might actually going to go in the final film as well. We'll see. Some of those are good enough to do that. Some will be reshot. In February, we are going to release those teaser and then start a crowdfunding campaign to actually build the bridge. And then we go to film the whole movie. The idea is to build everything and film this year, the coming year and the year after, to release by the end of 2023. That's the idea. Of course, you know how those things can go or can't go. That's the idea.
But when the real world creeps in, expectations kind of go out the window. See, and that's the thing, that when you brought that up, that you were going to be, building the bridge, or your version of a bridge, not necessarily a constitution, but your version of, which I personally, like I told you before, I think that's smart, because you don't hold the restrictions of, well, technically they had 4 buttons and there should be 3, and it's a half millimeter over, and screw it, throw out the board, we got to start over. You don't do that. You're like, no, this is good for us. But the thing I like about what you guys are doing is you're kind of showing, hey, everyone, this is what you've gotten. Here's the trailer, and this is what you've gotten on spending nothing on us. Now we'd like you to dump a little bit of money so that we can give you a better product. Isn't this worth your while? Because I know for me, I'd be like, man, that's impressive. Here, take my money. And that's great marketing. That's why I think going this route of, hey, let's cut the trailer first and then finish the rest of the film. It's like, to me, I think that's just smart marketing. Plus, like you said, what is usable for the film that you can keep, you've already got shot. You don't have to reshoot it. Or what you need to reshoot, hey, we've got a bridge right here. I'm not quite happy with this take. Let's go back and reshoot that. You absolutely can, because you've got the physical sets right there. You can go put someone in the background, or you can go reshoot some, it's just smart. And I love your guys' approach. Dave G Sound says, there were 4 buttons. Calm down, Dave G. But I love that mentality that you guys have. It's the entire approach that you guys have taken, from the uniforms to your approach to people, to the bridge, building that you're doing. It's just smart. I love it. Scott Johnson said earlier, they have the passion like we did when we first started vman. And Scott Johnson, for those that don't know, when I first got into fan filmmaking, he was one of the ones that kind of took me under his wing. He ran the old Starbase Studios, And I have to agree 100%. That's one reason why when I saw their when I saw their production film, not film, when I saw the production stills and I saw the behind the scenes stuff, I instantly latched onto it. It gave me that vibe of classic Star Trek, and I saw that these aren't just actors; these are people having fun. The love of Trek. I have to say I agree with Scott. You guys, you have that love, and I got to say that it's not there with a lot of them. They're going through the motions, but you guys, you have that passion, and I love it. So I do have to say it's tip of my hat to you guys. You guys,
Thank you.
I cannot wait. So, but
Well,
anyway,
I think
I have to be honest, the whole crew are like amazing people. It's like always a good time, even if someone's like feels bad that maybe one day has headache.
Oh my God.
Other cast
or for example, one day someone has, I don't know, a little bit of a fever, like 39 degrees Celsius of fever, for example.
Yeah, she
That's
came
the
in
case.
the last day of filming that we're shooting on location. We still haven't published anything from that because I still don't have the dailies. And she actually had a fever that day, and she came in anyway and did the scenes. And perhaps, I mean, I don't know, some of them, there are, I think there is a scene between her and the science officer, which is also a cadet, and which is kind of very... I don't want to say intimate because it's not intimate in that sense, but it's yeah, but it's intimate in the sense that it's two people talking in his quarters, and after some very bad things happened, and the performance there might actually been improved by the fact that she was not well anyway.
Yeah, well,
Also,
maybe.
Elena, she plays another cadet, the operations officer. Anyway, she came the first day of filming that she had a sore throat and almost couldn't talk. And yeah, this line, which is actually the only line she had on that day. So she came with that with only one line, and was it was something like breach on deck 2. We're losing atmosphere. And she went, breach on deck 2. We're losing atmosphere. And she sounds terrified.
Yeah, she sounded terrified while she was just unable to speak, and yeah, that's what we do. I mean, we do what we can with what we have, and maybe sometimes it comes out better than we would have thought in normal situations.
what I was saying before was like that maybe if someone feels bad and maybe has an headache or something like this, another one of the crew just bring in like medicine and things like that, or tea or something. They're all like nice people, and it's like an amazing environment, really.
Oh,
it seems like you guys have a real sense of family on the set. Is that's
Yeah,
pretty accurate?
yeah,
we're
it
starting
is.
to, yeah.
And that's one of the things that I found working on sets. Like I've worked on sets where it's you can cut the tension with a knife, and I've worked on sets where you walk away and you're like, man, I can't wait to do this again, and when you go back, and you see those familiar groups of people, it's like a family reunion, and it's just a good time, and that's one thing that like I was saying earlier, when you look at the pictures, even if it's a kind of a serious scene, you can still see behind the eyes, man, they look like they're having a blast. It looks like so much fun, and that's the thing that you look at a lot of fan films and you don't see that. You don't see the you don't see the fun behind the production. They take themselves way too serious. They're like, we're making a fan production, and it's like, chill out, man. Like, just enjoy yourself. You'll get there. So
Yeah.
working with everybody that you have. How many people do you actually have in your cast and crew?
Around 15, I think, right now. more or less 15, yeah.
And you guys, you said you've been working for about a year and a half now?
Yeah, we started, me and the director Frank and Jorge, who's doing the CGI, in 2020, right after well, it doesn't mean month to you anyway, the Italian lockdown, so it would be like July, I think, yeah, June. And then we were supposed to film in Rome with those cosplayers, but with all the restrictions and so on, it got delayed a long time. And so in June 2021, we said, okay, let's move everything to Turin in northern Italy. Let's do castings here. So we actually did castings in July. I brought in Juliana, who was with she's basically my sister. We grew up together. And
We grew up together with Star Trek movies, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
And TOS, Voyager mostly. And anyway, from there, we did the casting, we found the actors, and we started building our group and rehearsing, because we wanted to actually have the scenes ready before we went filming, because we don't want to waste time while the clock is ticking, because we don't have
Also, we were not ready to compromise the quality of the movie. So we didn't want to have to be on the set and then to have to rush and go out with a not so good scene just because we had run out of time. So we wanted to be ready for the day of where we started the shooting, and so we did a lot of work beforehand.
We did a lot of rehearsing, like in August and September, and then we had those 2 days shooting for the first part of the teaser, which is what we actually use now for the stills and so on, because the second part is still not edited. Anyway, we did all those. It was supposed to go through 2 days, and we actually finished like 1 day and a half, because I mean they all knew everything. There was no need to do further shoots.
I'm so proud.
Yeah,
honestly, I'm so proud.
And the last day of shooting, also we finished relatively earlier, even if it was on location, much difficult scenes. And yeah.
So you guys, you talk about the feel of the film is similar in tone to like Balance of Terror, Wrath of Khan, the giving the cadet or giving Astrid kind of the somewhat like, hey, here's lower decks, here's first duty, here's some in terms of tone for like the film, what are some of the other inspirations of the film itself? What are we in for the entire thing? Because it's still a mystery. Like, I mean, visually it looks phenomenal, but it's still like, as I look at it, I'm like, it's a big question. It's kind of like watching the Batman trailer, where you see the big question mark and you're like, like what are we in store for? Without giving spoilers, because I know that's something I don't want to even try to delve into that. So don't feel like I'm poking and prodding. And if I am, forgive me. What are we in store for? Because I am desperately curious about this.
For the first, I'd like to say that for me, I've been writing, all my life, basically, just for myself, mostly, sometimes for others. And for me, it's very important that there is a story. And so it's something that I always put there is, it's not just space battles. It's not just like a random encounter of two people. It's really something that from the beginning to the end has a line through it. And every character starts in one position and ends in another position. So what you really get is a full story with an evolution in it, something exciting, I hope, because there are a lot of exciting stuff. Some mystery also, because we have a couple of, very boom moments when something you don't expect happens. And then you think about it later, or at least I hope people will see it, will think about it later. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And of course, also some entertainment. Why not? It must be entertaining. It must be fun. We must have fun doing it. You must have fun seeing it. That said, the director, Frank, who actually started the project before we joined, came to me with a few ideas that he'd like to put in the story. And that were, for example, that on the same ship you had a father and a son, a captain and a cadet.
Oh.
Yeah. So one of the cadets is actually the son of the captain. And is not a young captain, is a retired captain. So for a very important mission, comes back and takes command. Also, he wanted to have some conflict in it, but of course not like 20th century conflict, but like General Denberry's conflict, which came from different point of opinions, different motivations, but valid motivations, not like bickering or something like that. And regarding the tone of the film, I said it was a submarine movie. It had that kind of Wrath of Khan feel, but that is mostly for the adult characters, like the captain or the first officer. For the cadets, it has a lot more of like Lower Decks, the TNG episode. It's much more a growing up movie. They start that they just, they're not even out of the academy yet, and through the experience they live in the movie, they actually grow up. Yeah, that's mostly what I can say. What else I can say? Well, of course, the title will give out some of the dangers that people will will find. Like it's love because there is also a love story in it, and it's honor because you can imagine why.
Are you guys like curious to know more about it? Well, you can wait up with the trailer and then with the movie.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and in the teaser, something I really hope we manage to accomplish with the teaser is to have an idea of the story, because as you say, it can look good, but it can be hard to transmit that there is a story behind it. And I really hope we manage to do that in February.
Well, I can't wait to see the trailer because it's, I hope I can get an early sneak peek of it because I am waiting. I can't wait to see it. It's like I said, every time you guys post, I always try to hit the like, try to share it with my friends at work and be like, guys, check this out. I can't wait. Anything we can do to help you with fundraising, whatnot. What exactly are you guys going to be doing? Is it going to be like a GoFundMe? Is it going to be an Indiegogo? What exactly are you guys going to be doing for fundraising for the bridge?
Actually, I'm supposed to research this next month. If you have any suggestion, please feel free to share.
Do you know exactly how much you guys are going to be looking for, or is that something you guys are still up in discussion for?
Around 15,000. Yeah, 15,000.
15,000, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you guys have a spot already located and set aside for that, or is that something?
Looked. You mean for to build the bridge?
Yes.
Yeah, I've looked into it. I've seen that in my area, which is actually at the outskirts of Turin, but it's very well connected, and it's more or less actually halfway through Astrid, which is outside the city. Anyway, in that area, there are a lot of spaces for rent, which would be perfect and don't cost much. So we can definitely use some of those. And also, there is this is actually funny. Our Mirko, the actor who plays our captain, works for. He has he's actually a security chief for hotels and other businesses, and he has a connection with this. What is it called in English? The company who buried the dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, they have this big building that they only use at night, which is all empty. And I say maybe we can actually build here for free or almost free. That's the one possibility. That would be funny actually.
So they might be able to give you the hookup. There you go.
Yeah.
So Is it just going to be the bridge set that you guys are looking to build, or is it possible like a bridge set and then like a multi-purpose room that you can redress for captain's quarters, then tear that down and then put like up a transporter room and then like tear that down? Because I know for like my stuff that I have here, when I made it with Royce, like the planthons and stuff I have, like I can tear it down. I have breakaway sets that I could do inside, like the interior that I have to be a repurposed interiors. Do you have plans to do something similar to that?
Yeah.
I have made plans for the bridge, which is basically a simplified version of the TOS bridge with a few modifications. And from the start, I thought that part of that can actually be redressed to act as a transporter room. We'll see about the other settings we need. Right now, we are using a hotel we use the hotel for mess hall, and we'll see. We might keep using hotels for this kind of thing, for quarters and so on. We'll see. Depends a lot on
Crowdfunding.
on the funding and on the people who got. By the way, we might actually have a real set designer on board now that we met at that big comics convention we did last week, and she is doing sketches at the moment, because I did project for the bridge, but I'm not a professional in that. She
Right.
can do it. She can do it for real, and she can find the right materials and so on. So having her on board will mean that we can do it better, of course. And yeah,
Yes, we are all of us. We are doing the best we can. Are improvising sometimes because we don't have. We are not professionals, so we are doing what we can. And I believe, everybody is doing a lot more than it was expected to. And
Yeah.
I'm very moved by how the crew is coming together to this project, because, as Jack said, he is like a brother to me, and it is his project, and I am just so excited to see it come to life. So I'm very moved by all the people, all the affection we are getting, and so that's very cool.
I think I involved Juliana. I think in it was actually on the same day we decided to move on to Rain. I think so. It will be fun. And by the time we got to the first rehearsal, she knew the script like perfectly. She knew it probably better than me at the end. So, and she actually took on the role as cast director, because our director, he mainly focused on the right angles and so on. Of course, all the compositing is doing the editing, but he didn't have time to follow every rehearsal. So she is actually the one who directed the actors during the rehearsals to prepare them, and she has a lot of theater experience, which helps with that. Because it's my script, but I'm not a director. I can't always. I mean, if something is very wrong, of course I can say no, that's not good. But other things are subtle in filmmaking, and I don't have experience in that.
Well, I'm just amazed that they still love me after what I didn't go through the rehearsals, because I was quite severe, and I really wanted them to. I really pushed them, because I had a very honest conversation with the director, who was very, who was a little softer than I was, because he was saying, well, they are actors, but they're not professionals, so maybe we can be a little softer in our expectations. And I said, well, they can be professionals because they have the talent. So I want to push them as much as I can, as much as they can, just because I want them to do their best performance. I want them to look back at the movie saying, "How cool was I in that movie? Oh my!" So I can do even more. I can do a lot of stuff, and also I want to look back at the movie and say, well, the actors. I want even people who don't like Star Trek or don't know Star Trek to look at the movie and say, well, it's very well acted. I might get interested in Star Trek now. That was my goal during the rehearsals and during the indications I I gave to the actors, and they still love me. I don't know how, but yeah.
Because you were not severe, you were really nice,
Was
and,
I?
and really good. Did I say that right? Okay. Did I say that right? Not okay.
No, you can be honest. You can be honest. I was awful sometimes, but yeah, I
No,
tried.
she was kind of severe, but thanks to her, we did a great job.
Yeah.
Really, she taught us a lot.
Well, that's one thing when you a lot of people don't realize when especially when you're making a fan film, but in film in general, when you're working on set, you usually have to fill, you know, you're wearing different hats, and a lot of times it's stuff that you didn't necessarily sign up for. Like some people, they walk onto a set and they're like, I am a producer, I don't have to do that. No, a lot of times, I don't care if you're a producer. A lot of times you're the coffee boy. Hey, you're doing it. You maybe sign on as a producer or something, but a lot of times you're like, you're looking at the director like, hey, what do you need next? All right, I'm going to go get this. I got this, and you're substituting a lot of things, and you're like, oh, you need this costume, I'll go grab this real quick. Oh, you need that for makeup, all right, I'll go set this up.
For
And you're
example,
setting up.
I had to do the hair for the girls for the first 2 days of rehearsal. I said I'm terrible at that, and I also did have just four. I had just 4 hairpins for 2 girls, so it was a nightmare because I didn't think I had to be the one to do that. So I came on set and I said, oh damn, I just have 4 hairpins. What are we to do? And so we just juggled a little bit, and we actually kind of put together some hairdo for the two of them.
Yeah.
And luckily for the next day of shooting, we had a professional hairdresser, and I was so relieved as well. I cannot do that, but I had to
I,
because.
you'd be surprised when all you have is 2 hairpins. You'd be surprised how regulation those hairpins become on a Starfleet ship, because that's all you have, and that's why on my films, sometimes you'll see people on my ship in sneakers, or they'll be wearing on their black on their black slacks, you'll see white socks, because it's like, the reality of the situation is I have little to no budget. I don't have, I choose to spend on, hey, we're buying Little Caesars pizza today, guys. Like, I'll buy lunch, and we don't have a budget, so I'm not going to complain on the little things. I care more about, hey, let's get a good performance, and let's go, let's have a decent lunch and share some good memories, instead of it's got to be perfect Star Trek, because it's like, I understand none of us are getting paid. We're doing this out of the kindness of our heart, and let's have a good time instead of let's over stress on the wrong things. Let's have a good time, but even on a film like that, you're still wearing like 4 or 5 hats, and it's still stressful, even on no budget. And that's why when people nitpick and they're like, look at that white sock, or that uniform doesn't fit quite right, and I'm like, you're lucky you even got a film, but on a regular film, you're still wearing so many different hats, and a lot of times if you don't do it, nobody will, and people don't realize that. They it's easy to nitpick, but when you realize what it's like to make a film, it's easy to criticize those things, but you never get the recognition. It's just, hey, let's go do it, because if it doesn't get done, it's never going to get done. Most people never realize that.
We got a lot of flack about the ears of our Vulcan character, because they're not very good, but that's what we had already. We say we are spending money on the uniform, we're spending money on the shot. Right now, we can't buy perfectly matching ears. We will for the final movie, but on the budget we have now, which is basically nothing, which is all we are filming ourselves, all we are financing it ourselves. We have this year.
And that's the thing, Jack. The thing that I like is on my comments, I'm a firm believer on be critical, not cynical. Like, I don't mind if someone wants to criticize my film. Hey, go ahead. It's when they personally attack someone on my film. That's when I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go to their channel. Let me block them so they can't do future comments, because I don't like douchebaggery. And then I'll delete their comment, because I don't believe in that, because I don't like negativity. And you would think for people who love to follow enlightened films, you know, for Star Trek, you know, you think that people wouldn't do that, but it's the internet and trolls abide. But they forget that these are fan films. These are not multi-million-dollar budgeted per episode shows. These are, how big do you think of a budget we have? Like, dude, you're lucky we even have ears for a Vulcan, that we're not just, you know, bending the ears ourselves with holding it with duct tape. Like, I mean, come on, man. Like, use common sense. Like, the fact that we even have the green screen technology and you don't see the halo of green around us, you know, that we're able to light it properly, or the fact that some of us have sets to film on, like, you're really lucky that we have what we have and that we're able to entertain. And in my mind, if we're able to entertain for 5 minutes, we've done our job. You know, but I digress. You guys, I saw hands go up like, oh, let me chat. So go ahead.
Ari, who's been doing proofreading and sending me a lot of emails on the English version of the script. He just joined in. I just wanted to say hi.
I was saying hi to him.
Right. Captain, exactly.
Captain Baxley.
Yeah.
Yep. So you guys will be filming in going to that aspect right before we leave, because we've hit our hour mark, and I won't take up too much more of your time. You guys are recording in what language is it?
We're recording in Italian, and it will be dubbed in English afterwards. Actually, we are starting to dub right now. Okay.
Yeah. And because I know you guys had were translating. You guys had Captain Baxley. For those that don't know, he is translating the script over, getting those things. Here, sorry, I got a little feedback on my camera. So okay, so we have that going. What's it? Hello? Yeah, Captain Baxley says he's working on the English version to dub. So if anybody wants to,
oh yeah, I actually cut out the video. Anyway, he's helping me with with making it feel more English, because while my English is okay, I'm not a native English speaker.
Yeah,
so with the script.
So we will have that will be available for everybody who wants it. And you said 2023 is the hopeful release date for. Okay.
That's idea, yes.
Awesome. Well, so you have the Facebook page, which I will put in the description. I think I have it in the description. I'm not sure. If not, I will go back right after the program. And so anybody watching in the chat, give me about 5 minutes and I'll make sure it's there. Anyone watching on the rewind, just click right on over in the description and go follow them on the Facebook page. Is there anywhere else that you guys have that we can follow you?
We have Instagram.
Instagram. Okay. Send me the link in right after the show, and I will put that in there as well. So you guys heard it here. Just click on over in the description and follow them on Instagram. Follow them in both places, because honestly, these guys have great content every day. They're constantly updating, and their content's worth it. Honestly, it's great content for Trek. It's optimistic. It looks like great Trek. You know, so honestly, if you don't like the dark stuff that's out now, go click on it. It's happy. It's Star Trek. It's great. So with that being said, Jack, is there anything else you have to say before we head out?
No, I think we can close perhaps with a preview.
With what?
A small video from that's still unseen.
Do you know how to do? I don't have.
Let's see if it works. Just 1 minute.
You may have to turn the screen around to do it. I don't.
Let's see. I think just 1 second. I need to get the video. There it is. So this is something that will end up in the teaser. It's still with temporary music because I will be doing the music afterwards, but we still haven't started. Let's
He's
see.
a composer too. There's no end to my brother's talent.
It's actually it's my main job is
Yeah.
musician. Is it working? Is it not working? What is it doing? I think nothing. Okay, let's try with the other way. Okay. Can you see my screen now? No, I guess not.
No.
Okay, then I don't know.
Oh, hold on, just a second. Yeah, hold up. Let's see. Add to stream.
Oh, okay. Now it works.
There we go.
Okay, then perhaps before you add the video instead of that, let's see. In that same place. Wait a second. Oh, well, let's do it this way. I guess it's easier. All right. I'll say that just a small clip that will end up in the teaser. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Great.
It is a very small clip, yes, but
This is something very small as a preview to close this transmission.
a beautiful Astrid was there, so it was appropriate.
Well, that's awesome. So with that being said, Astrid, was there anything else that you had to say before we head on out?
I just have to say that you seem like a really nice person, and like there are really nice people in the chat. I'm reading comments, and sometimes I'm laughing because I have the comment like right there. And you're really nice people. Thank you for having us in here. Thank you, like a lot.
Well, Ian Mitchell, he threw up 4 Vulcan salutes. I think that was for the video that you just showed. Lord, no, it wasn't for me. It was for you guys. So, I mean, obviously he loved what he saw. So, and then Juliana, was there anything you had to say before we head out for the day?
Thank you for having us, and I really hope that our joyful movie, which also has some very tragic moments, but it's overall, as you said, a very optimistic and whole track-like movie would not would live up to the expectations of our fan base. So well, we hope so, and thank you again for having us.
Absolutely. Well, I can say this. My expectations and happiness for the film was probably about a 10, maybe 11 before, but hearing your thoughts on your feelings on Modern Trek and where fan films can take it, the personality and the interaction and everything, I'd say it's probably now maybe at 13, 14, 15. Like it's kind of, and then seeing the video and how everything's going and Astrid's personality and everything, like it's up to now like 20. It's going above and above. So I mean, I feel like my head's going to explode, and it's more than just the sickness I had from a couple weeks ago with my kid being sick. I'm so excited, So again, I can't wait to see the trailer that you guys have. I'm glad you guys update every day. You guys are, this is what fan films are about. Good time with people, good stories. I can't wait to go through the emotional roller coaster ride you guys have for us. So, good stuff coming. I can't wait to see it. So with that being said, thank you all for coming. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Hope you guys have a great New Year. With that being said, everyone in the chat, thank you guys for coming on this ride with us. Everyone in the rewind, thank you guys. Everybody, click on the description. Go both follow them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram. Not in that creepy way, be good. And with that being said, everyone be genuine, Be safe and keep on geeking on, guys.
Thank you.